are surrounded by many ordinary things and phenomena understandable by default. But as soon as a person tries to explain something elementary, he runs into an insurmountable wall of incomprehension, experiencing a clear lack of knowledge. For example, try to answer a child's question, "Why is the night sky black?" Half of adults will immediately say, "Because the sun does not light it." And that's the wrong answer. The sun is a star, which trillions in the universe, and following the logic, the sky should be flooded with the rays of distant and nearby luminaries, and therefore the night sky cannot be black. Such a discrepancy is considered one of the most profound cosmic paradoxes. Fun fact, in 1987, a study was conducted which found that 70% of astronomy textbooks offered incorrect explanations for this phenomenon. Let's try to resolve the whimsical paradox right now.
Hollow at first in outer space.
Let's assume that the universe is infinite and the space in it is filled with stars. It turns out that wherever we look, some luminary awaits us everywhere, analogous to a dense forest where a person is surrounded by a dense wall of trees. Stars emit light. So why doesn't it fill our skies with a bright glow that even the sun would drown in? Why, when we look up at the night sky, do we not see a continuous fiery orange flame? You can fully realize the meaning of the paradox by turning to a comparison. When you see a lantern up close, it's just a point of light in front of you. But if a row of lanterns is very far away from the observer, they merge into a huge bright spot. Swap the lights for stars, and you'll understand why this question so preoccupies scientists. One thing is clear, it would be difficult to live in such a grotesque world. So personally, we're glad we don't. Thanks to the Olbers paradox. The named paradox is the lousy sheep of cosmology. The strangeness is hidden in the name itself. It turns out that it was Edmund Halley who first mentioned the problem without adequate attempts to explain it. A couple of decades later, independently of him, Jean-Philippe de Chazot talked about the paradox, and the German physician and amateur astronomer Heinrich Wilhelm Olbers only emphasized the attention of the scientific community on this interesting topic. And this is the result. The paradox is named after him. This is not the only example of historical injustice. An illustrative case is the discovery of America. The credit belongs to Christopher Columbus, and the continent was named after the navigator Amerigo Vespucci, who participated in one of the expeditions. This is not the only oddity associated with the paradox. The first person on the planet who solved the riddle of the pitch-black night sky was not Olbers or Chazot. 140 years ago, the discoverer was the writer Edgar Allan Poe. He, not realizing the significance of his prophetic words, explained this discrepancy in his philosophical work, Eureka, a prose poem. But back to the scientific treatment of Olbers' paradox. At first, an incorrect solution to the problem was proposed. It was believed that the radiation from numerous stars was absorbed by dust clouds and nebulae, which is why it does not color our sky orange. But the conclusion was fundamentally flawed, as it turned out later. If the cosmic matter had shielded the light of the stars, it would have inevitably flared up on its own, and again would have created the effect of orange skis. So is the explanation on a different plane? In the 20th century, it was finally discovered which one. The answer lies in the age of the universe. According to the Big Bang Theory, the macrocosm was born about 14 billion years ago. The speed of light is known to be a limited parameter, so the rays of distant luminaries will fly to us for billions of years. In addition, with increasing distance, the energy of photons is lost. Therefore, the luminescence of invisible objects will reach the Earth greatly weakened. We must also take into account that many stars during this time extinguished and no longer emit light, and some not even born yet. But these are the answers lying on the surface. The full resolution of the paradox is much more complicated. To figure out what's what, astronomers had to enlist the help of the Hubble Orbiting Telescope. The apparatus was given a clear task: to capture the farthest galaxy in the universe, which we can see through ultra-powerful optics. This proved to be no easy task. For more than 4 months, the telescope's eyepiece was aimed at a specific sector of the sky, because otherwise it is impossible to capture the incredibly faint signal coming from the depths of the universe. In 2004, the results were made public. In the images obtained by the telescope were seen chaotic clusters of young galaxies that appeared almost immediately after the Big Bang, and behind them there is nothing. The background is a black, frightening void, or rather, so it seems to imperfect human vision. In fact, the vacuum is penetrated by microwave radiation caused by a monstrous ancient explosion. Is there really nothing beyond the distant galaxies? Astronomers believe there are still many stars in the apparent darkness. So why aren't the objects that fill the universe beyond 14 billion light-years away painting our night sky a solid bright background? Simply, the darkness caught in the eyepiece of a telescope is an invisible boundary where our vision cannot penetrate. It absorbs rays from objects that exist further away. But how far away is further? At what distances must the stars be if the light from them still travels to us and it will be seen only by people living many centuries ahead? No one knows yet. Scientists only assume that beyond the found boundary is not a void. There from the cosmic dust are actively formed hundreds of stars just because of the limited speed of light and the youth of nascent objects. In the coming centuries, mankind will not warm their rays, but if one day people manage to look into the darkness of the macrocosm, their eyes will see the epicenter of the Big Bang, where from the infinitely hot point of singularity arose something that became the universe. Such an event will be an astronomical breakthrough, as the Earthlings will finally realize that it is not the universe that is limited, but our ideas about it. The subject of cosmic paradoxes is difficult to understand even for many experienced gray-haired professors cosmologists, what to speak about people who are not connected with astronomy. But until we have not penetrated all the mysteries of the world, we will have to be satisfied with what science offers. Although, if you have your own opinion on the matter, share it in the comments. And if you really liked the video, then be sure to put an electronic like. It will signal to us that we are not trying in vain. And comments with the hashtag Cosmos will be included in the next video.